I'm of the view that this is definitely politically motivated, but that there are cases to answer in terms of what has been uncovered and indicted on behalf of the grand jury, which has been looking at this for many months. Where do you stand?
Well, something can be politically motivated, but this is going to be decided by 12 jurors, 12 peers. And also, political motivation is an emotional argument. It's not a legal one. And you've already commented how the next time we're going to see Donald Trump in court, or there's going to be real movement on this case, is December 4th. So we have 8 months of pretrial motions in which there's going to be discussions about a change of venue, whether the judge is supposed to recuse himself, as Donald Trump has tried to argue, whether there are going to be certain witnesses allowed, whether there are going to be charges dropped. So this case is going to look very different come December 4th as to what we're looking at right now on this day.
That's a very interesting point indeed. I mean, there's no doubt at all. I mean, you've got a very, very highly sort of politically charged justice system in America, where you've got political appointees and elected figures involved in the justice role. The district attorney, Alvin Bragg's a known Democrat, has spoken out about Donald Trump. The judge, Graham Merchant, himself also again spoken out about him. His wife has written many tweets anti-Trump. His daughter, and this was Donald Trump, spoke out specifically about these. His daughter has worked for numerous different aspects of the Democrat campaign, working for Kamala Harris, the current vice president. The fact that the Democrats, or the justice system couldn't find, one judge who just kept stum on this and perhaps wasn't so outspoken, is a weakness in their case, isn't it?
I wouldn't say it's a weakness, but it's something that I would say Trump supporters will trumpet. They will try to highlight and at least cast this case as being somehow unfair.
Yep.
When actuality, and you commented on this, that almost every judge in any jurisdiction is a political appointee. But it is going to come down to the evidence. It's going to come down to the strength of the witnesses. It's going to come down to corroboration. And although people may not like who may be appointed or who may be overseeing the case, when people get to see the actual trial and the actual evidence, I think that will better shape how people feel about the case, because ultimately we're going to see documentary evidence. We're going to have testimony. We're going to have so much more than just people wondering and theorizing about what the evidence is. We haven't seen the actual evidence as of yet.
That's the thing, isn't it? Although, of course, we do know that, for instance, in the case of Stormy Daniels, the porn actress, we know money was paid. There's a wire transfer. There's evidence for him. Michael Cohen has already been convicted, his personal lawyer, of his involvement in that. And again, it's you're perfectly entitled to pay $130,000 to a woman who's claimed she had an affair with you, who you don't want that to come out ahead of the presidential election campaign. But it's whether you then claim that as a legitimate legal expense, whether or not that's a campaign expense, is the issue there. But let's go back to the questioning of the judge, because this is crucial, isn't it? This argument that this is politically motivated, that this is a witch hunt, this playing of the martyr by Donald Trump, that's going to play into a lot of his Trump fan base, many Republicans who aren't even sympathetic to Donald Trump, and people like me who've got no sympathy whatsoever for Donald Trump, but will actually be asking, how come charges have been brought against Donald Trump, but not against, say, other former presidents who've been accused of something similar? Let's have a little listen to Donald Trump specifically attacking the judge overseeing this case.
And this is where we are right now. I have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and family, whose daughter worked for Kamala Harris and now receives money from the Biden-Harris campaign, and a lot of it.
Well, I mean, Trump hating, and now this, as you know, Mo Kelly, this really plays to his base. This idea that he is, he's under attack from the establishment, that drain the swamp. The reason why they hate him is they're afraid of him because he represents the ordinary people. That narrative plays very well with the Trump base, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and it works for fundraising. It works on cable news, TV, and it helps position him for a much better run in 2024. It actually has helped him in his polling in the short run, and he hasn't even really got into the primary season. But again, I would make that distinction. What helps him politically may not help him legally. Speaking out against the judge after the admonition yesterday, as far as not speaking about the case or speaking about the DA, his wife, or the judge, is going to be legally problematic probably going forward, and it may shape not only the jury pool, but also any possible sanctions which may be put on Donald Trump. So he's treading a very fine line here in a dangerous game, I would say.